Hey, it's Ryan, and we're spending this weekend in southern Utah hiking Angel's Landing at Zion National Park.
And we're going on 2 more nearby hikes as well. This is Zion National Park in March. Let's go on a journey. The easiest way to get to southwest Utah from out of town is to fly into Las Vegas and grab a rental car. It's less than a 3-hour drive to Zion and takes you through the beautiful Virgin River Canyon on the way. We're staying in a fully furnished yurt in Virgin, Utah, just 20 minutes from the Zion Canyon Visitor Center, which gives us easy access to the park and nearby areas. The first hike is Kanarra Falls, only 35 minutes north from our yurt in the small town of Kanarraville. This hike does require a permit for $15 a person, which can easily be purchased on their website. Since March is shoulder season, I didn't have any trouble getting a permit the day before our hike. But summer permits can sell out more than a month in advance, or even longer if you plan to visit on a weekend. The trail follows an old road for the first 0.8 miles, crossing the stream back and forth before entering the Slot Canyon.
So the hike's about 2 miles into the end, and we're headed our way there, but we're a little more than halfway now, and we are only walking in the river.
Don't get me wrong, the water is almost freezing, but this Slot Canyon is so fun to explore. The way the canyon curves and turns, how the sounds of the waterfall change as you ascend the ladder, and how it suddenly opens back up wider with a beautiful area at the end. This hike is a pleasure, especially since there's hardly anyone else here.
I've been really happy with how not slippery it is. Crossing the rivers has been actually a breeze.
If you plan to do this in cooler water months, which is anything anywhere close to winter, plan to bring waterproof boots because our feet are so red. It is very cold.
As the sun sets, we're heading back and enjoying more time on dry ground.
We're at the last river crossing of the Kanarra Falls hike. Really fun. A little cold in March. Might try April or May next time when it's a little warmer. But tomorrow, we're headed to Zion.
We're almost done!
Good morning from our beautiful yurt, which we arrived at a little late last night. Today is Saturday morning, and we're headed to Zion National Park.
Zion is a pretty large park, but for our short visit, we're only exploring the canyon, which is also the most popular area. From March through November, private vehicles aren't allowed in the canyon, so you'll need to take one of the free shuttles to get there. The next hike of the weekend is on the Emerald Pools trails.
To get to the upper Emerald Pools from the shuttle stops, right now you have to stop at either 4 or 6. The bridge at stop 5 is actually closed right now. It's only about 1.2 miles up here from stop number 6, which is the grotto.
The very start of this hike gives you a nice view down the canyon above the trees. There are upper, middle, and lower Emerald Pools that we could visit, and each have different trails to get to them. How far the hike is depends on which ones you want to visit, but swimming in the pools isn't allowed.
The pools are not as emerald as you might expect from the name, but not too hard of a hike, only a couple hundred feet in elevation gain to the upper. The stairs get a little crowded, but not too bad. Great hour or 2 hike in Zion. And there's Angel's Landing. Hopefully we will be right up there tomorrow, but we'll see if we can get the permit. All right, that was fun, but I've worked up an appetite, so you think we should go get lunch? Hell yeah. All right, we're heading to the Zion Lodge to get a snack.
Zion Lodge is at shuttle stop 5 and is a nice place to grab a quick bite to eat or spend some money at the gift shop. After a nice break, it's time to do a bit more exploring of the canyon and do some wildlife spotting.
This is where you start the Narrows hike and you get off the paved trail and then you have to start walking in the water. Sounds fun. I really want to do it one day.
And before we call it a day, there's one more spooky stop on the itinerary. Just off the main road is the Grafton Ghost Town. Grafton was a Mormon settlement which began in the late 1850s. By the 1940s, the town was completely abandoned, but has been featured in many Hollywood films. Today you can explore the area and the buildings that remain, many of which have been partially restored and are safe to enter. The Grafton Ghost Town is free to visit. It's just outside of Rockville, kind of in between Springdale and Virgin. It's on the way to Zion National Park, so if you are headed up that way, this is a great little detour to check out. And if you visit in the evening, you might get treated to an epic sunset. Good morning, it is Sunday, and we just got permits to hike Angel's Landing.
The weather is pretty clear here. The weather looks a little questionable at the location of Angel's Landing, so we are gonna head that way, see how it is. Fingers crossed.
And fortunately for Ashley, Alli, and I, the weather held off as we took the shuttle back to stop 6. Time to start our hike to Angel's Landing. Whoop! The entire hike climbs about 1,500 feet in 2.5 miles one way, with only the last half mile as part of the permits-only chain section. It's a crisp morning, but everything is dry for now. Hoping it stays that way, but we're headed uphill now. Very beginning is pretty flat by the river, but it doesn't stay that way for long. And in no time at all, the first big elevation gain kicks in. The first switchbacks take you up above the canyon floor and even into the side of the canyon. The trail then turns into the narrow Refrigerator Canyon, where signs ask us to stay quiet toward the resident Mexican spotted owls in the area. Further back in this canyon, the trail does a 180 and you're faced with Walter's Wiggles, a series of 21 short and steep switchbacks. Now I need a bathroom break at the only one on the trail because we've made it to Scout Lookout. If you don't have a permit for Angel's Landing, go no further than here. But it's time for us to face the chain section of the hike. Ashley quickly realized her shoes were not grippy enough for the rocks and made the safe decision to turn around. But Alli and I proceeded on our summit push. I definitely recommend gloves to give you some extra grip on the chains. And this trek definitely isn't for anyone scared of heights or prone to dizziness near cliffs. There are plenty of spots in between sections of chains where you can pull off for a break. Some areas are more friendly to two-way traffic than others. Don't underestimate it. The chains are not easy, but the views are incredible. And after 10 times thinking, the summit is definitely over the next crest, finally it was over the next crest. We made it to the top of Angel's Landing, high five! Yay! It's gonna be a little bit sketchier going down, but we're gonna enjoy the view before we struggle down on our butts as safe as possible. We got a little bit of snow coming up. There's quite a few people, but not too bad. Just being careful all the way. We spent some time to soak up the experience. And after enough chipmunks begged me for snacks, we started back down the chains. After we picked up Ashley, it was time to head down Walter's Wiggles. We're just getting a little bit of snow. Man, I don't know if you can even see them coming across. We got some this morning. Oh yeah, you can see it on the camera. It is just a tad bit of snow, and man, that's awesome. We got a little bit as we were headed up Angel's Landing, just after Scout's Lookout. Man, this is just a crazy beautiful day. It is March, and obviously the weather in these parts can change quickly. Once the sun came out, it warmed up a ton, which is really nice. And much faster than the hike up, we quickly got down the switchbacks, crossed the bridge, and we're at the end. Overall, there's a reason for the crowds in Zion Canyon. It's just so darn pretty. With the emerald pools, the narrows, Angel's Landing, and more, there's plenty to see in the canyon alone. If you have more time or want to avoid the worst crowds, there are other areas of the national park outside the main canyon to explore too, so go check those out. Each of the 3 hikes was unique. Kanarra Falls was a quiet trek in the river to a waterfall in a slot canyon. The Emerald Pools was a busy hike that got above the trees in Zion Canyon. And Angel's Landing was a tough but rewarding hike and an absolutely beautiful experience. Zion has been an unforgettable part of my journey, and I hope it will be part of yours too. That is it for Southern Utah and Zion. We are finished with our Angel's Landing hike. It was absolutely incredible. Please do this hike if you ever have the opportunity and you are not afraid of heights, but please be prepared for it as well. The next video coming very soon, we're gonna be kayaking down the canyon below the Hoover Dam. So stay here at Journey with Ryan for that next video, and I'll see you guys next time. Walk on trails and try not to trip while you're taking video. Little guy, I'll give you a rock. For Jordan, I'm holding the chains. I'm in a safe spot. We're holding onto the chain, Jordan. Yes, I'm at a safe spot, Jordan. Look at my hand, Jordan, I'm safe.
Look, Jordan, I'm safe. I'm sitting. Hey, Jordan, I'm safe. Thunder, thunder, thunder and hail.